Wednesday, the 20th of April 2022. Joe Trades Forex, Forex Diary, Journal, whatever you want to call it. My daily video tracking my progress, or not so much progress. I'll put up here. So again, only trade USD yen, 3 pip stop on trades, only look for steps after 9 AM GMT, using smart money concepts, supply and demand concepts. Look at the hard time frames, down to lower time frames. This series of videos is essentially following me, you could say, forward testing the strategy using the 25,000 demo account, trying to make 10% to see how long that would take, so that when I look to take a challenge, that will give me an indication of what we can do. With this particular challenge, they have a 4% maximum drawdown, and currently I'm only using 0.1 risk, 0.1% risk per trade. So essentially it's sort of about £25 per trade, worst case scenario. So today was not a very good day, which is kind of a good thing in the sense that this will just show the challenges that, you know, most normal people come across, and also the fact that, you know, as great as it is to show winning trades in like these 1 to 10s, 1 to 16s, 1 to 25s, etc., etc., it's not always like that every single day. And this is the thing that I need to get used to and get into a better, consistent habit of. So what I'll just do first of all is just show you. I was going to put them in the video, but in the sort of sense of insert them, but it's just easier to have a look at the 2 screenshots. So here's the trades from today. As you can see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losing trades, all pretty much consistent. This one up here, the £38 one, again, I was watching the chart, FOMO kicked in, so I was like, and, you know, entered the trade. But for the most part, consistent, but not very good because there's 7 trades. So the overall profit on the demo account now is at £94, which, you know, is getting close to, you know, maybe under 0.5%, 1/3%. Either way, we've gone from having the initial trade being 16R win. Yesterday we had a -2, so it took us down to minus 7R. And with today's trades and the inconsistencies there, I'd say we're probably about minus. We're still up, maybe +5. I'll have to work it out later, but we're up. But this is just to demonstrate that emotions are real, and I'm not a robot, and things do get out of hand. But this is the reason I've not been consistent over the last 6 years, is emotions, chasing things, trying to catch falling knives or predicting the tops and bottoms. Anyway, there you go. That's the awkward bit out of the way. Let's have a little look at what's actually happened. So the area here, this blue shaded area, as I've been saying for the last couple of days, price on this particular pair has been very bullish, and I've been anticipating at some point there being a pullback. You know, price won't always go up forever. Now, yesterday I was looking at various different points of interest, and they were essentially the wicks of these daily candles that we've got here. So initially we had sort of a point of interest there, waiting for price to come in. Obviously it came through, smashed the granny out of that one. All of these here, these wicks, price kept on pushing. Price filled basically this imbalance that's on the daily. So that's where we are there, filled the imbalance, happy days. So on the 4 hour, as you can see, price has started to pull back. Now we're still bullish on the 4 hour chart. So overall, this is still in a bullish trend. We would need to break this low here for me, being the last significant down close candle that's actually closed below the previous candle. So we are looking at the low of 126.306 as the low that would need to be broken to really confirm on the 4 hour that we have had that change in direction. So when I came in this morning, Again, this is just current price action. So this morning, when I was looking, price had, I mean, essentially, this was the area that you would have got a nice short today. However, looking at after 9 o'clock, I'm around here. There wasn't really anything that I was happy to look at, so we'll just go back here. But we have had change of character on the 15, so we can see this last candle closed below this candle, cementing this high here. Price then is pushed up, closed above this, cementing that low. So when prices come down and close below this, that's given us the change of direction, break of structure on the 15 minute. Okay, this on the 15 minute, for example, is now looking like we've got bearish action. Price has then gone on to break this low. We'll just put in some lows. So again, you think there's liquidity that's been grabbed there, and there's liquidity that's been grabbed below this low here. Ever so slightly pinged it, but it would have taken it. So we've had that. Now on the 1 hour, I don't know if at this point, yeah, so again you could argue that again we've had the change of character on the 1 hour as well. This down closed candle below here cemented that high. So 15 minute, 1 hour are giving us bearish indications. The ironic thing today is that yesterday, when I was looking for bearish action, I was taking counter trends short, getting stopped out going long with the price. Today I was looking for counter trends long and getting stopped out because it's going short, and this was mainly down to me trading what I thought was going to happen rather than what was actually happening on the chart. So there's another nugget: don't trade what you think, trade what you see. The impatience or that need to trade is what got me in trouble. However, the trades I've taken today, I mean, if I just took the first one, which I've got to be honest now, for the life of me, I can't remember where we were. Yeah, so what was going on down here? It was just over here. So I'd seen that price had sort of swept down, swept above, targeted that inside bar, and this last down candle. Now there's only one trade, so there's two trades taken there. Obviously set the orders, price pinged through. As you can see, just absolutely decimated that, so that can go. So that's minus 2R there. And then I was just continually picking zones to try and get long, because I was going, well, hang on, there's liquidity here, that'd be the ideal spot up here. You know, just not really trading properly, essentially. So again, price, we'll just play this forward. You know, not waiting for correct confirmations. Again, I saw sort of this down close below that candle, cementing that high. Again, I'll just make this bigger because although I'm looking on my nice big screen, I appreciate that on YouTube it's probably absolutely tiny. But again, just rush in, try to catch the bottom, call the bottom, catch a trade up. So this down move below this body close here cemented that high up here, and then when that high got broken by this candle, go away, that was cemented that low. That was the last candle before the down move, although we didn't break that high, and ultimately that was sort of the high there, give or take, that I should have waited for confirmation. So again, another trade, minus 3R for the day, and as you can see, got another zone marked out. Brilliant. Let's get some more losses in. So let's just play this forward. Again, I was looking, essentially I was looking at zones that weren't really zones and not focusing on the correct sort of areas. So again, it is what it is, not great. So let's just get rid of everything on there because it's irrelevant now. Can learn from it, and basically I need to sort of either be more patient or wait for sort of be one and done for the day with the trades. I'm more focused on the fact that I know the last couple of videos have been 20 minutes because I tend to waffle. So at the moment, like I said, on the 4 hour, let's just draw in that zone for me to really believe that this price is starting to turn bullish. Need a break below this level here. On the 1 hour, we've had the change of character when price broke above this high here, and then broke below this low here. So that's there. So on the hour, you've got these wicks up here, which if price pulls up to this zone, look for the reaction on the lower time frames to see then getting short. On the 15-minute, just to refine that a bit better, we've also got this sort of imbalance here, so you could argue that the most extreme level is going to be this sort of zone here. So at the moment, that's what we'll be looking at tomorrow. We'll see what's happening at the moment. But again, as you can see, price has pulled up to this inside bar. It's not quite broken it just yet. And again, there's nothing to say that this wick here, that price is going to respect it, and you know, as it's happening now. I mean, all I can see on the lower time frames is lots of liquidity being set up for a potential run. So the thing that's on my mind and why I was trying to get long today rather than looking for just, you know, short positions to continue down, is in my head I thought that, you know, price was going to come, run these areas, and even here we can sort of see there's relatively equal levels here. So that's what I was thinking. However, we've got to look at what's actually happening. So let's just get out of replay. There we go. So on the 15, let's just reassess this because I was in replay mode rather than where we currently are. So price has run that liquidity, leaving behind this point of interest now up here. And the reason I say that is because price has broken and closed below this low here. The reason for that is that low closed below this candle, cementing that high. That high's been broken. So this is the current range that price is in, from that high to this low. So again, you know, looking down here very quickly, I don't know if there's any trade that would have been in play. At this point, obviously, from the charts, I'd switched off and just sort of resigned myself to going, it's been a bad day, just leave it, Joe. Just leave it. Very much sideways, nothing really definitive. Overall, like I said, on the hard time frame, bullish. However, we could start to see bearish action. And again, when you look at the chart, there's lots of areas for price. Now, the other thing to take away is because today was essentially the day that there's been a very, you know, you could call it a steep, extreme change in the price action, it may not have been the best day to look for trades. Normally, it's trying to wait for price to figure out what it wants to do, establish itself. That's when we find these zones where we can really get into the fractals. Anyway, -7 for the day, probably a bit more, probably more like -8 to be fair with the trades. Again, not perfect, not ideal. It is what it is. Still showing it though, because what's the point in hiding it? Doesn't make any difference. You've got to learn from these mistakes, and it's just is one of those things that I can take away and hopefully learn from in the future and turn it around. Again, it'll just take one trade, 1 to 10, 1 to 16, and that covers the losses and adds more profit to the account. So we'll see what happens. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. Come again. Happy days. Take a